Well, hello and welcome to GRCC's Asynchronous Online English 101 course. We are section 8930, summer 21. And I just wanted to introduce myself and take you on a little tour of our first week so that you get an idea of the workflow and how everything operates. So right away, you're probably looking behind me and seeing toys. So my office is literally in a bifold closet, got both doors open and my monitors in here. But this is the room that my wife Mary and I like to have our grandchildren over. We have three grandchildren. We have Jackson, who is 5, Eli, who is 3, and our youngest, Violet, who is just about 5 months. But the boys like to hang out in here a lot. Let me see if I can show you one of the things I made during COVID. It's amazing what you can do with boxes and tubes and a glue gun. So I made this castle for them. And yeah, this is where I've been stuck since March of last year, pretty much entirely online. If you've been a student over the last couple semesters, 3, 4 maybe, you know what this is like. At some point, we're going to all post a COVID story as kind of a fun discussion board because I feel like all of us have some story, that we can relate to in isolation or strange things that happened during COVID. But at any rate, I want to talk a little bit about this class. So this is normally a 15-week class, and it's been condensed to 7. Now, I just want to say from the outset that that means we have twice the amount of work to do in half the time. So I have set this course up, and this is the course structure for most online courses, that each week you have 7 days to do your work. So weeks start on Monday morning about 8 a.m. when I release the materials, and then they end at Sunday at midnight. So you have 7 days to complete your work. Now, we'll talk about discussion board in a little bit, but you must participate at least 3 days on our discussion board. Typically, there are 2 threads each week. The first ones are pretty simple for this week, and then they get a little bit more complicated and involve some reading as we get into weeks 2, 3, and then so forth. So keep in mind again that we start on Monday and we wrap up on Sunday. So that gives you a great deal of time to do the work. However, if you're a procrastinator like I used to be, you have to schedule time to do it. Can you do it all in one day? Not really. In fact, you wouldn't even want to try. You'd create so much stress for yourself. So what I recommend is I've actually posted the first 3 weeks, so you can kind of look ahead and get an idea of the workflow and how things go, and I'll take you through week 1 in just a moment here. But the idea, of course, is that you want to space things out as much as possible. There's always something, of course, you're going to do on the last day, maybe the final copy of an essay, tweak some things. But it's really impossible to cram everything into one day, nor can you get full credit for participation, again, unless you participate at least 3 days. So let's take a look at week 1. But before we do that, I'm just going to run through some of the areas in our Blackboard course page, and then we'll get into the weekly details. So here's our Blackboard course shell. And you'll see that I have start here announcements. I don't have anything in there right now. I will post a link to this video and welcome you to class at some point. This is the instructor page. I've been teaching a long time. It's might be actually over 35 years. And just again to let you know, I'm an off-campus adjunct. I'm in Holland. It's important to remember that adjuncts, we are not full-time employees at GRCC. So we are not compensated, even though we do the same work the same way. So most of us work several jobs to make ends meet. So one thing that you'll see in here is that I don't have office hours or location. Again, I'm just working out of my closet. I'd invite you over if I felt like I could, but it might be a little too much. But I do make every effort to check email and respond within 24 hours. And so that's my preferred way of you communicating with me. I have our class syllabus posted. Now I'm in instructor view, so things might look slightly different to you, but I've also posted it as a PDF and a docx for those who might be using screen readers. It's very important that you read this. I even have a little syllabus scavenger hunt that you'll need to complete in week 1. We have 2 textbooks, Compose Design Advocate, which is a unique approach to writing. It's a relatively new textbook. I've just been using it for about 3 semesters now. And then a reader, which has really, I think, stories we can all relate to if you've grown up in the Midwest like I did. And we'll be using this as a reader and to glean some examples of description, narration, other bits and pieces that are rhetorical devices that you might use. Both of these are really not too expensive, and if you contact the bookstore, they're probably available in e-copies as well, and that can be considerably cheaper as well. So let's go into a weekly folder. So right now I have opened weeks 1, 2, and 3. So those are available to you, so you get an idea of what's happening. When I get a little bit further, I will open the remaining weeks. This is to help people who might want to plan if they know they've got vacation coming and they want to get started on the next week's work or something along those lines. They can do that. So let's go into week 1 though. So typically I have a little welcome and kind of lay out what's going on in each week. Here are what we call our learning outcomes. These are the goals of your education. And you'll notice that you can click Mark Reviewed. Now your screen will look a little different than this. The reason I do that is when you go in and out of a folder, oftentimes you'll forget where you left off. So as soon as you complete a task and click Reviewed, that's kind of a visual reminder to you that, hey, you know, you've completed that item or that assignment, so you can rest assured that you don't need to work on that. This is a review of the syllabus, and then this is our first assignment, which is a little scavenger hunt. It's a little 10-question quiz, and you can take it as many times as you want till you get a perfect score. And it doesn't take very long to do, but you will want to review the syllabus before you try the quiz, and you'll probably want to keep it open as you take the quiz as well. Then we have what we got calling discussion board threads. Now, this may or may not be familiar to you, but we have a lot of details in here. Each week we have what we call 2 initial posts, and you'll make 6 replies. That is, you'll respond to 3 other students' posts for their thread. So you'll have a total of at least 8 things posted every week. And again, I would spread this out over 3 days. Maybe you do some Monday, come back on Wednesday, do something on Saturday. That way you can get full participation points. Now I'm going to walk you through the procedure here, and I posted my introduction so you get an idea how this works. So it'll always indicate what you're to do for each thread. So thread 1 is introduce yourself, and thread 2, I'm going to have you watch a video, top 10 ways to improve your writing. That video is coming soon. Right now, I just got it as a PowerPoint presentation, so if you want to look at it that way before I do the video, that's fine as well. But let's just click on this to show you how it works. So right now, when you click on it, you'll see the only thread in there is mine. Now, this actually won't even show up until you have posted a thread. This is called a post first forum. But I'll show you my thread. So this is my introduction. Of course, I talk too much, so I have a long, wordy introduction here. But I've given you, some information on the previous screen about what you can do and what you can talk about. And then when you are all ready, you click Submit. And then once you've submitted your thread, then all of a sudden all the other threads will show up. Now, part of this is also replying. This is the community that we create online since we're not in the classroom and we can't just ask each other questions, vis-a-vis, face-to-face. So what you can do when you're ready is go in and respond to people. Now, your gut reaction is going to be to click reply, but please don't do that. Click on quote, and let me show you why. So the reason I've clicked on quote here is because now when I write my response to them, I can see whose introduction you just read. So, you could start your response like, hi, Todd. sound like a neat guy, yada, yada, yada. And there's some ideas about how to respond back on the discussion board page in week 1 as well. When you're ready again, hit submit. Now, never hit draft. It goes to a mystery place, and you can find it again, but it takes a long time sometimes to do that. But whenever you're ready, hit submit. I'm going to cancel because I don't want to reply to myself because that is just weird. All right, so I'm going to go back into my week 1 again and show you a few more items. All right, there's almost always reading. We do sometimes just a single chapter. The first couple of weeks, we're combining all this material into a shorter class, and so you'll have 3 chapters each week to read. And then we have a series of 8 information literacy toolkit modules. Now, these are meant to help you understand the research process, which is very, very important at the college level. Now, some of you may have a great deal of experience from writing essays and other courses, and others, this might be your real first experience with getting your feet wet in college. And so these modules will show you the process of doing that. And you can see here all the different topics. I've highlighted the first module. When you're ready to do that, I'll take you to the link here. And you'll see here all the different modules, but I've linked you to module number 1. And typically there's a little tutorial. Sometimes it's just slides, sometimes it's a video. And then you'll open up the worksheet and you can complete it. Now here's the thing with the modules. Once you open it up the first time, save it right away locally on your computer. If you don't and you complete it all and something happens, it just goes away and you'll have to start all over again. So I know how that is sometimes. A form shows up, you just want to start pecking at the keyboard and filling it out, but save it first. Then you can go in and fill in the boxes. Now it can be a little wonky. Sometimes the boxes act a little strange, and that's okay. We're just trying to answer each question thoroughly as best we can. And, so if your spacing gets a little weird or the box you have to make bigger or smaller, whatever it takes, feel free to do that. So we do 8 of these modules. The first week we just do 1, and then usually we do 1 or 2 sometimes a week. I believe week 2 might have 2 modules. So it's the kind of thing, again, you need to start early in the week. Let's go back to our folder again. Now, typically I've got short videos each week. This one I just have in as a PowerPoint, and I'll insert a video hopefully Tuesday. And then typically there is an essay of some kind. Now we have 2 kinds of essays. We have what I call short essays, and these are typically about 1.5 to 2 pages. And then we have long essays. And the long essays are much more. They're typically anywhere from 3, sometimes 5 pages long. I think most people end up with about 4 when they're writing them. But we do also have a long MLA research essay that is the final long essay. And those are worth a considerable amount of points. So discussion board, participation, the information literacy toolkit modules, those are relatively small parts of your grade. People often stress over that if they get a poor grade or something, but it's really the essays, the short essays and long essays, that contributes for over half. I want to say maybe 55 or 60% of your overall grade. So it's pretty substantial. So the essays are really the gold that you want to mine and the value that you will add to your overall score. Short essays are meant to be what we call scaffolded. So we'll do 2 short essays for each long essay. And typically there are like ingredients in those short essays that you can then copy over into the long essay if you choose to, and you can always change your mind as well. So scaffolding means we kind of build so that you're ready to go forward with that long essay. So this is week 1. Usually I'll put a link. This just takes you back to the weekly assignments folder. And I've also put an area in here for questions. So if you ever have a question, you can just pop it in here. You can also email me. You can do both if you want. But if you think it's a question that other people would benefit from, this can be a nice forum to do that. And I always tell people, put the whole question directly into the subject, the title and subject line. That way we see what the question is right away. And if it interests you, you can go in and respond to that. Now there are a couple other items over here on the left side that will be useful for you. One is the MLA template. I'll just open that. Is a Microsoft Word platform. This course is based on that, and so Microsoft Word is the required format. There are a couple exceptions, and I'll talk about those later. But for most of our essays, I do require it in DocX or Word format. However, you can click on this link. It will take you to a free version of Word that students can use. All you need to do is provide your GRCC email address, but then you'll get other tools with it like Excel and PowerPoint and so forth. The actual template or document, I'll open that up. Actually, I think I'm going to wait on opening that up because sometimes my computer crashes. But if you need to start an essay, this is the place to start it from. It shows you how to fill in your name. The course is already in there, the date, if you have a works cited page. So I won't open it now just because I'm so close to the end of the video and I don't want to crash it. You'll see other links to discussions here, peer groups, signing up for MLA research questions. We'll talk about those as we get near to them. They're still out there a little bit longer. So welcome to class again. Again, my name is Todd Soule, and I look forward to getting to know you as best as I can in this strange environment. I'll be going back into classrooms in the fall. Hopefully we all will. And we'll kind of get back into this less keyboarding and screen time. And just to make faces shine is what I really like to do in the classroom. And I'm normally a guy who tells jokes and I do some interesting word etymologies. And so I'm going to get back to that. But we're going to muddle through this class together. And I hope I can help you out in the course of the next 8 weeks. And we'll talk to you again very soon.